All right, let's see. Welcome to Dicejunkies, and I am Zeno. This is my host,
Co-host Q, what's up?
Yeah, all that good stuff, and yeah, we're live and talking about stuff.
Okay.
What happened this week, man? Like what?
Oh, for me, now this might have been last week because I was a little late catching it, but it was close enough. It was in the last week, few days. Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and I know Mr. Bloodaxe is gonna fall out because he knows I'm about to holler about it. They put out Bardock and Broly, easily two of my favorite Dragon Ball characters. Bardock, the father of Goku, and Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan. And I've been spending so much time practicing Broly. I don't know if I've properly played the game in the last week. I just been going in and practicing putting pain on people. That has been fun. I mean, easily my favorite part of the last week, other than, on the video game side, I should say, has been that new character. They definitely picked me an excellent set of characters. I wouldn't have bought them otherwise because they're putting them out where you buy them individually. I think I'm going to pick and choose who I buy. I don't really care about getting every character, but they did put out two that were absolute must-buy. Like, honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to bother buying anybody else except maybe for Jiren when he comes out. That's about the only other character that's on my must-buy list. But, and Android 17, because I hear they're working on putting Android 17 out as his own character. And beyond that, those are what I was waiting for.
Cool. Talk about something else for a second, too. So I got these images for Pathfinder 2nd Edition
Awesome.
that a friend had sent us. And so I was going to share some of these images that came from the retailer conference, but they're on my phone, and so I'm having to send them to my computer. So,
again, this is why you support your local comic book store, man. You get the inside info, you get the images. Guys, make sure you hit your local shops. I could definitely talk a little bit more. We started up a 5th Ed game here, being piloted by our God-complexed Zeno. Our heavy-handed hackmaster DM, Zeno. Now, I'm teasing them. It's actually pretty fun. Our first session was thrilling. We had 2 new players in. They both had a good time. I went, we're not going to repeat the things you kept saying about my character, but I am a spearman. That's Dicejunkies After Dark. You're going to have to go to the Patreon, like, once you get stuff on there.
Yeah.
Get to hear how we really talk. But, no, it was a lot of fun. Starting up 5th Ed, I have to admit, this is the first time I really just had a ball playing 5th Ed. But that was my fault. When 5th Ed first came out, I kept hoping it was going to be closer to 3.5 or Pathfinder. But now that I've gotten over that little stuck-up moment, it's actually a pretty good game. I'm actually starting to like it and realizing that it's got its own life. And maybe it's good that it doesn't resemble Pathfinder. There are 2 different systems now that meet 2 of my different needs. Like the character I'm playing now, I don't think I could do what I'm doing in 5th Ed right now in Pathfinder that well. Pathfinder rules don't really support what I want to do with the character. So I'm amused that I did have to go to 5th Ed to do the particular archetype I'm doing. But Pathfinder 2nd Edition, I need to go catch up a little bit more, but I read up on how they're doing their critical hits. And man, I'm excited. Pathfinder 2nd Edition is already looking like it's going to be possibly the top game on my list. If it goes along the lines it's going now, it may beat out my favorite RPG system, Anima Beyond Fantasy. And I didn't think that would happen, but I'm loving the critical system and the save system. And I'm loving the action system.
Are you talking about, you're back on Pathfinder now?
Pathfinder 2nd Edition, yeah. I thought I said that. Pathfinder 2nd Edition.
You probably did. I was zoned out.
All right. Well, I'm trying to buy you some time, so don't be an asshole. But, because what they're doing is they're doing scales of success. Instead of it being just you save or die, they're doing critical successes on skills, critical fails on skills, critical successes on saves, critical fails on saves. So instead of you seeing like, oh, you meet a Medusa, The Medusa looks at you and you turn to stone, or the Medusa looks at you and nothing happens, which is, pretty ridiculous. It might be the Medusa looks at you, you fail to save, you're like mostly petrified. You're petrified, but it's, temporary. You're petrified for rounds, minutes, or hours. You critical fail to save, you're petrified forever, just dead.
Yeah.
You make the save, you still may be partially petrified. You might be slowed, half movement, or, only your upper body is still mobile, but it only may last for a round or two. And then if you make a critical success, you're not petrified at all. Now, this is an example I created. I'm not saying they listed that's how Medusas work, but I like that because I believe if a Medusa makes eye contact with you, something should happen.
Yeah.
You should be afraid to look a Medusa in the eye. But like they said, they call it save or lose. We used to call it save or die back in the day, but same thing. It takes the fun out of the game that it's like, oh, this encounter is just a matter of did I make this fort save? I made it. Okay, I killed a Medusa, day over. I guess Medusas don't turn people into stone.
So, yeah, all this information is actually coming from the Paizo blog, or Paizo blog. They've been putting new information up on a pretty regular basis. And like you said, the critical hits and critical failures is probably one of the most interesting parts of their new stuff. I
still think the action system is going to turn out to be really good just because of the detail they went into on the critical system. But yeah.
But they do. This looks like they just added one Friday on the dwarves, big beards and pointy ears. You had goblins. They got one on the critical hits we were just talking about.
Go back up to that
rogue class.
Options. What was that? Slide up. What's that?
It's not Pathfinder, right? It's Starfinder.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's why I skipped it.
I thought this was just the Pathfinder second edition. My bad.
Pathfinder a la mode. I don't know, unless we're not pulling the screen, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But anyway, so a lot of good stuff there. Now, our friend over at our local shop sent us some images from an event. I'm assuming
already Pathfinder is keeping that high quality of art. I was telling Zeno that Pathfinder to me has always had some of the best artwork. Mainly just because they managed to catch the fantasy feel, but it also doesn't look retro. It has an odd, really kind of up-to-date style mixed in there that just really appeals to me. And also separates it again from 5th Ed in a good way, because if you want your retro classic look, most of the artwork in the 5th Ed book reminds me of when I played D&D as a kid. Pathfinder almost has that kind of updated look that modern fantasy movies and video games use. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a division there, but I like both styles. Now, I'll admit I'm not as excited about the Goblins being a race. I was doing quite a bit of trash talking about the Goblins, but that might be because I'm a Sandpointian for those who played Rise of the Rune Lord, so I still got a grudge with the Goblins. I won't forgive them so easy. You put a goblin in my party, I'm going to treat you like a goblin.
Yeah. Anyway, so we got the what's changing, which is pretty much stuff we already know, but broken down. So you got rules streamlined to make Pathfinder easier to learn, faster to play, and better for thrilling fantasy adventure stories. Revised action economy simplifies player turns without sacrificing tactical interest, which we actually went into detail on some of that on our previous Pathfinder video. Alchemist and Goblins now playable options in core. Revised rules prevent must-have magic items and more than 100 new treasures and spells. Skills, combat maneuvers, and endurance simplified. Math balanced across all 20 levels of play.
Now, that's going to be amazing if they can do that. I mean, tell me, Zeno, is not one of the biggest problems of both systems, if not all systems, that there are sweet spots. There are levels that do not. It's like, oh, I hit 5th level. Mm-hmm. Boom! My power level just freaking exploded, or... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're like as you level, the power just dramatically changes. It's important. For example, a 4th level character, a 4th level party will be slaughtered by a 5th level party. because that's how big a fifth level tends to be.
Yeah.
Fifth level for so many characters is such an explosive level that the power level difference as DMs, I can't wait. We'll remember to talk about that in DM story, so I won't go too detailed. But there are certain levels a DM needs to change his game because his party just suddenly reached a whole new league where it's like, oh, your little goblin war party or your little orc war party, it doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah.
They'll blow that away and they're not even caring.
Yeah. But we don't want to get too much into that because we do have other things to talk about today. So
yeah, y'all can tell I'm excited.
Images we got here. This is the module that will be coming out with the playtest module.
Buying that.
So that'll be cool. We've got some drawings of some different weapons and items and stuff like that.
I like the axe, man, with the dwarf face. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Now, I'm going to have it be my face if I'm a dwarf, though. I'm going to be arrogant about it. Or my mom and my dad, get creepy. Like, this is my dad, this is my mom.
All right. There's some dwarf drawings.
All my dwarfs are Irish. I'm racist. Or is it Scottish?
And then we have some gnomes. Oh, yeah, see, there's your...
I hate goblins more than gnomes, though.
And we also have some more weapons display, which I'm liking the artwork on the weapons. They sort of made their weapons a little more fantastic,
Well, as I said, that stylishness. I mean, these aren't classic weapons, dude. They're styled up. That's what Pathfinder goes for. Exotic. There's the word.
Yeah.
The artwork of even the face of the gnomes, dude. That's an exotic look. They go for a more exotic look.
Apparently, they're actually bringing them down, and they're like, this is the gnomish style of weaponry. So they're actually trying to add a little more flair to
Mr. Kendar.
to the races and their styles. Almost like they're getting ready for like a big MMO or something.
I saw their attempt to it was terrible. I saw an attempt at an MMO game. I've gotten into the beta, and it was painful. So shut up.
Yeah. Here we've got some elves, and it looks like some rogue drawings.
You think their gender is fluid?
We'll see. They have not said anything.
That's only for the people that watch our videos. You wouldn't understand.
And then they have what's the same. So you had what was different. Now you have what's the same. So deep customization options allow you to create the hero you want to be. No two characters are the same.
Ooh.
Now to say no two characters are the same is a bit of a stretch, but
we'll see. That's a big claim because I have to admit it's not always easy to differentiate. But maybe what they're trying to say is there is no one correct build, which would be good because that's a problem sometimes. Is like this is the best version of a summoner. This is the best version of a wizard.
So all first edition races and classes are included. Most first edition content easily convertible on the fly with new stat blocks.
You're saying we can go right in the Rise of the Rune Lords?
Honestly, with this now they did demo some of this sort of on a podcast that they were converting something on the fly. But I'll be honest, dude, the way they were converting it is no different than any other system. Dude, as an experienced DM, you can convert stuff on the fly.
We've converted video game characters into pen and paper, so you're right.
So
I'm hoping they up the necromancy.
I'm not really that sounds like this huge selling point, but it's honestly not.
Who's gonna convert? I'm gonna be honest, man. Yeah. The good thing about a real good new system is you kind of enjoy the reboot. I'm weird like that. I enjoy a reboot. I'm gonna start over.
Combat still takes place on the 5-foot grid, as in Pathfinder flip mats, with miniatures or Pathfinder pawns, providing plenty of tactical depth and interest. Actual gameplay remains largely the same, only simpler with more options for all characters. Simpler with more options is a confusing bit of terminology.
Dude, it's the sales blog. We're vetted. Y'all don't come to us for the newbies and the trying to sell something. We don't care until we see the rules. I mean, I'm excited, so we know I'm in support of it, but you're going to show me the rules and then we'll see. I'm sorry, but I don't want to bring up the trauma of 4th edition, but I will not be sold to again.
Look, you got Blood Elf on the whole elf thing. You got him ranting in the chat room.
It's Blood Axe, but you can call him Blood Elf because now he's our elf player, though.
Yeah, Blood Axe. You got him. Well, it was because he was complaining about the
gender confusion.
Yeah.
Hey, it's not confused.
This is why I didn't bring it up. This is why I didn't bring it up.
There's no confusion, sir. You get to pick it. Now, everyone else is confused. You don't know what the heck you're looking at that day.
All right. So anyway, what else we got in the news? So we had the Peso news. Some cool stuff there.
Yeah, it's your job now.
Anything else you see happen this week, man?
Gonna throw it right back to me. Pass the ball to me again.
Well, no, I was just saying. I was just tying you up, man. See if you got it. I saw Philip DeFranco, which is a cool guy who does news, tries to be unbiased and all that, and reporting news was on Hot Ones, and you know how we like spicy food here, so. I really enjoyed watching that.
I've been ramping my game up. I'm telling you, I need to get famous enough to get on Hot Ones because I've been getting my game. I think I can make it to the end. Now, I might be crying, but I think I can make it to the end.
Mm-hmm. So that was a good.
I did find out something cool.
What?
And I blame my friend Kitsune for not telling me because he knew, and like a butthole, he didn't say something the last night.
Okay.
Apparently, Pathfinder has a Vampire Hunter D setting.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? And I was like, I need to find the book for this. Like, what's that about? But they actually sat up there and brought up. I was on the SRD and found out there was a Vampire Hunter class, and then found out there was a Vampire Hunter D book set in Pathfinder. That's like core. Like, I don't mean like a third party. Like, it seemed like it was actually Peso. So I didn't get a chance last night because I literally found out last night. Yeah. I'm gonna do a search for this book and see if I can get a copy, and see what that's all about.
Yeah, no, I didn't know anything about this. Have not heard anything about this. Are you sure?
Let me tell you how I found it.
Okay, you said you didn't have a chance to look it up.
I was on the SRD. I saw the class, and you can go down and see what book it's in. And it said Vampire Hunter D, from Vampire Hunter D, Peso. And Kid today was laughing because I was on the phone with him. We were trying to see what was new out. Like, The Ultimate Wilderness, by the way, for Pathfinder fans, that's an amazing book. You need to get that in your collection. Everything I saw that was new, that was really cool, was from that book. So I'm planning to snag a copy. But I saw this other class, and I was like, oh, man, I need to go find out what this is about. He was like, oh, you found out about the Vampire Hunter D. So apparently he knew. So I'm going to punch him when I see him again, but don't tell him because he'll avoid me.
I mean, we're sitting in front of a computer with Google.
Well, I wasn't going to call you lazy.
So.
Pathfinder?
Yeah.
It's called Pathfinder.
Yeah, I know.
Y'all don't know, but he's a terrible typer.
So?
I mean, I'm not much better, but I can spell.
Yeah, let's see. Vampire Hunter.
That's the class. See if there's a
D20. Vampire Hunter D gets an RPG with your help. Geek and Sundry, a Pathfinder supplement for Vampire Hunter D. Message from Mars. I'm playing. Yeah, resources. Let's see.
Vampire Hunter D Peso. There you go. Click that. Let's see what that is.
So apparently this came out back July 14th, 2016.
Wow, that's been out for a year. We didn't hear about it. I don't know if that's good or bad. Oh, no. It's a Kickstarter. So they must have put the class out, or did the Kickstarter finish yet?
Oh, I mean, if it was 2016, I'm sure the Kickstarter finished.
But you know how long it takes to do a book, though.
1,730. I guess we could share our screen since we're looking up stuff.
Let's put their product out there. Bam, Vampire Hunter D, y'all.
Is the comic book adaptation. Okay, so it's based off a comic book, I guess.
Well, Pathfinder's a high enough level fantasy setting
PDF
to do
copy
some anime.
of Vampire Hunter D, Mess from Mars, issue #1. Yeah.
I mean, that the horror book has a curse where you have the mouth in your hand. They had that as an ability in the Horror Realms book. They have an entire book of vampires.
The RPG supplement was a stretch goal for the comic book.
Ah.
Which means it's probably just a little thin but apparently it didn't make it.
Okay, so question is, they're probably still making the comic book then in the supplement. They may have just released the class, because I mean it's on the SRD, so I'm assuming, and it didn't say, it's on the Paizo site actually. Y'all saw it.
Yeah.
So my guess is that maybe they released the class early. I mean, here it is. They got message boards talking about the class, and it's a good vampire hunting class, but to balance it, you need a setting that really gets that horror going, because it's good at hunting vampires. It's a little too good almost. Mm-hmm. Well, Vampire Hunter D, man, anime.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something I came across. I'll do a little more research on my own time too to see when it's going to come out, if it has been out, because we don't want to bore y'all with us searching the internet. But I want to try it. I'm saying that because if we get it, we're going to play it. We'll talk about it.
So let's see. Sunday, right after the Sunday show, we went and watched Ready Player One.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
That was a interesting experience. It was half good and half horrible, in my opinion.
Well, you did the audiobook recently, and I did the audiobook a little while back. Here's what I can say about Ready Player One. It is definitely worth the money to go see. If you're like us, if you retro games, well, they don't have to be that retro. It's pretty up to date too. But if you like movies, you like games, you like all the geek stuff, you will enjoy many scenes in the movie. The reason that we say that it's half good, half bad, though, is as a whole, not really the most coherent. Yeah. But a great nostalgia scene.
I wouldn't say it's not coherent.
Well, if you go in there with the book on your mind.
Yeah. The game, it was a truncated, updated version of the book, sort of. They shortened everything. Like, everything was basically one test instead of multiple tests,
pretty much, yeah.
Like the book had. So the tests were shorter.
Vastly different than what they originally were. Like, I don't think a single one of the original tests actually made it into the game.
And then several characters were omitted from the book or repositioned.
Like when I say that they changed from the book, I mean basically the best way to put it is.
As far as not going with the book, though, like if you just look at it as a movie, because you don't want to compare it to the book. Because if you compare it to the book, it is horrible. It's nothing like the book. It's a very
I wouldn't even say that, because the book's really long. I mean, the book's good. The movie is not bad. But here's what's important, though. Go to the movie for the nostalgia.
Yeah.
Don't go to the movie for a story. Just being honest, because I'm sorry, I was not impressed with their version of the story at all. They even kind of changed the message, which I was not as okay
pretty much
with.
You can cut out all the real world stuff, just do the virtual stuff.
But all the virtual stuff is awesome.
And have a nostalgia orgasm.
The number of times I was stomping the floor, I was laughing out loud or clapping was frequent, because of the amazing nostalgia. But and the funny thing is, when we left the movie and I looked back, I realized that was the only part that was good. That was it. Yeah. All of the acting
Well, that's where the half good, half bad comes.
Yeah. All of the real world acting was, oh man, was so. Serious plot holes in the real world part of it. I mean, there was a line where Zeno was mortified because I basically called out loud, "Oh, so the police exist?" Because it's like they all of a sudden acted like the world wasn't Shadowrun. Because for the longest, it was just like there's no concept of law. You could just do anything you want, man. Anything you want. Just walk down the street, shoot people in the street, and blow up buildings casually.
Yeah, you pulled out your black card a couple of times and was like, "I'm going to talk loud in the theater."
I didn't really pull out my black card to the end, but I literally called out, "Oh, the police exist." Because up until this point, there were so many moments that a call to the police would have cut the movie dramatically short.
There was one other time, I forget what it was, that you got loud about. I can't remember now.
I think it was one of the real world scenes that dragged on. I just got fed up because it was just ridiculously long. You're just like, get back to the friggin' game, man. But if you cut out all the real world scenes, like if somebody went on YouTube and edited out the real world scenes, that movie would actually be like an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. That's how good every scene in the game is.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, the CGI was pretty good. I wouldn't actually mind seeing a movie that took place in that world.
Oh yeah, good one, man. That is a good idea. And I don't know if we could. I won't spoilers because I mean they changed it enough.
Stay away from
they changed it enough that you're not going to expect where they go and the locations in a movie. But the cameos were just well done. Now, here's a shocker. T.J. Miller's character, IROC, was friggin' awesome. They added a character in that isn't in the book. It was a good ad. He was just so funny. It was like to me, it was like a prequel to Deadpool.
He was actually the name was in the book, but he is not the character he was in the book.
Oh no, he was awesome, and I mean, it felt like I was watching snippets of Deadpool because like he was acting very much like his character for Deadpool.
Well, he pretty much acts like that in everything.
No, but did you not see?
I mean, the man has one mode, and it's effing hilarious.
But I'm not joking. I promise you, if they'd have switched to a scene of him wearing a headset sitting in the Deadpool bar, I would have not been shocked because he was like if he'd have been sitting there and been like Deadpool would be like, "Hey man, what are you doing? What are you doing?" It's like, "Shut up, man. I'm IROC. It's like, "Oh, okay." And Deadpool, by now, if they were cool, they would have did that. Him sitting in the bar, older, because it's not that far in the future. Because unfortunately, when the book was written,
or at least they could have had maybe a Deadpool just walk up to him and say something and like, "Go away,
hey, get back to work, man. Like, I need a beer." Like, shut up, get out of here. You're supposed to be making a movie.
Yeah. Oh,
that was funny that you didn't see any X-Men. That was actually brought up on a YouTube video. Oh, well, that's not spoilers because they're not in there. But like, there were certain characters that clearly didn't get cleared. Ultraman didn't get cleared.
I don't think there was any Marvel.
No Marvel.
Yeah.
There was Disney because I thought the giant robot was Disney, or is that Pixar?
It's Pixar.
You sure?
I can Google it.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to say. At least I don't think there were any X-Men. I will admit I didn't see it outright. There was a shocking amount of Overwatch, but I'm not surprised.
What is it?
I'm not necessarily say shocking, but more scenes than I expected. The Iron Giant. The Iron Giant is, what is it?
It is producers, box office, director. Let me actually pull the Wikipedia because they don't tell me on this.
The Iron Robot, the Iron Giant was awesome. I mean, you know what, you saw it in the trailer, so that's no spoiler there. It was an awesome nostalgia blast because I did like the Iron Robot, the Iron Giant. Dang it, the Iron Giant. Though the replacement for Ultraman, which I won't spoil for you, was the greatest surprise for me. And as a anime fan, a mecha anime fan, was possibly the coolest tribute you could expect. I mean, if you like anime and mecha, it's one of the classics.
It's Warner Brothers.
Oh, wow. It's Warner Brothers. Yeah. So you're right. I don't think Disney made any appearance in there at all. I do think there were Jedi, but I can't remember. I want to say I saw a lot of aliens. I don't know if I saw a Jedi. I know in the book they mentioned it, but I don't know if I saw one in the movie.
Seeing any Jedi.
I think they could have talked Disney and let
I mean, there was no Darth Mauls or Vaders.
But did they try too? I mean, did Spielberg even try to get any of the Disney? Because I honestly don't think Disney would have been that upset about it. I mean, they're usually good about, to a degree, of going, oh, well, if you're doing nostalgia, we definitely think our stuff's classic. Because to not be willing to let yourself be in a nostalgia blast is almost denying your status in that. Because in a real nostalgia blast, Disney would have a very strong presence. Like in a real thing where you could play whatever you want, there'd be so many Jedi, and there'd be factions, man, whole factions. I know this because I go to cons, and Star Wars has a strong presence, but also Disney movie characters do too.
Which, I mean, it may not have been Disney that didn't do it. It could have
That's what
been
I'm
Warner
implying.
Brothers themselves that did not want to deal with Disney.
That's what I'm indicating. Yeah, I'm saying that they even tried. That they try to get Disney stuff in
and I
there.
mean, we saw the Iron Giant, which was a Warner Brothers thing, so they may have put more of their own stuff in there.
They may have been a little worried that Disney would have. I'm not gonna lie, the Jedi would have been dominant. If they wanted to do it right, it had to be at least 25% Disney. Honestly, just being realistic. I mean, they've got too much iconic. You're telling me there wouldn't be a bunch of princesses running around, especially Elsa and Moana? Mm-hmm. Shoot, I'd be scared if Elsa showed up.
I mean, maybe they were going the way of
Let it go.
Remember, there was that online superhero game that you could create characters similar to the
Which one? City of Heroes?
There was one where you could create characters similar to the X-Men and stuff, and they had some costume options. And I think Marvel made them ban people using the names of the superheroes.
Well, I can understand that because Marvel makes video games.
Certain costume pieces that would make them so.
Well, I understand that because Marvel makes video games, and I think they were trying to do their own superhero MMOs set in the Marvel universe. I don't know if it ever came about. I know DC eventually put out specifically. So I can understand you going, all right, we don't want you being able to play Superman over there because we're putting out Superman. You know what I'm saying? But Disney's not making a nostalgia movie yet. So honestly, if they did, I'd go see it.
That's the question. Did we see any DC in there?
No.
Yeah, I didn't see DC either.
The main villain had a very Clark Kent look, but he didn't go full blast. I thought he might pull it out, but he didn't. Because remember, he had the swirl. He looked like a Clark Kent. Like he definitely was an homage to Clark Kent if Clark Kent was an a-hole, a.k.a. Injustice. Shout out. What? Dude, I liked Injustice. They showed the real Superman.
All right.
The a-hole. And they brought the turtles in, man. The turtles.
Yeah, now the
Injustice 2.
Yeah.
Hellboy. I mean, honestly, that is a shame that the best parts of the Injustice game are the non-DC. It's like my favorite characters are all don't have any business being in there. It's like, Hellboy, the turtles, yeah. What about the DC
Hellboy.
characters? No.
I'm still worried. I'm still worried about that. The Hellboy remake.
Who are they going to get that's going to outdo Ron Perlman?
I think they've already announced who it was supposed to be. I just
Ron
don't remember
Perlman.
now.
You know, I can't even visualize Hellboy not as Ron Perlman. Like he replaced the comic book version in my mind. I can't remember what he's supposed to look like anymore. That's how much he iconically filled that role.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Wolverine. Hugh Jackman's going to make it hard on the next Wolverine. Because he looked so much, he fit into the role so well the only thing that was wrong with his Wolverine was not his fault. They kept writing Wolverine getting his butt kicked.
I mean, Hugh Jackman
that.
will definitely be a hard one to replace. But I mean, honestly, it's going to be one of those things where the new generation will think that generation's Wolverine is great.
That's why it's our job to show them. We'll do the side-by-side pictures and go, this is Wolverine. This is your emo Wolverine. They'll probably pick some young, like, I'm Wolverine. I've got issues.
No,
my name's Logan. I don't have a memory.
No.
You know, that's a shout-out at Devil May Cry reboot. Bastards.
No. But no, I mean, a lot of times the best that people remember is just because nostalgia and the fact that, this is the one I grew up with. This is the first one I saw. So now I mentally compare all others to that particular
Blood
one.
Axe, no, it's not Voltron. Now, what's sad is while I was talking all that about Retro Mecha, I felt bad because I realized that you would go there. And I said, I'm sorry, dude. It's not Voltron. It's not Robotech. It's a little bit less retro, so that's my fault. I knew somebody was going to do that. I said, somebody's going to go line of Voltron, and I'm like, sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, it's no combining mecha.
That's fine. Don't. We don't need to talk about it anymore. The more things you say it's not, the more spoiler-ish you're starting to get. So,
well, I don't actually. Okay, I'll be good. Let's talk about Wolverine a little bit more, though. I just thought of something.
What?
Wolverine got his butt kicked in every goddamn movie. What was that about? That was something that used to bug me.
Do you remember watching Wolverine in the comics? He got his butt kicked in the comics.
That was the Worf effect. But Wolverine in the movies got beat up by Mystique. He got beat up by Deathstrike. before he got beat up by the snake chick in the one where he was in Japan. Mm-hmm. He got beat up by Wolverine. Wolverine got beat up by Wolverine. like every movie is Wolverine gets his butt kicked and then he wins in the end, kinda. But like I want a Wolverine movie where he's actually kicking butt from open to close, you know, and not getting his butt kicked.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that. Not on the screen.
We might get it on a new one because like you said, we don't know who the next Wolverine is gonna be, but hopefully they'll at least get that right. That he might actually be kind of badass and not just kind of like barely scratching by.
Yeah, we'll see. Whatever.
All right, I'm out of stuff to talk about. Your job. It's your show now.
Really? You're out of stuff to talk about? Like,
yep.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Do some work. I'm gonna talk with Blood Axe while you do that. Wait, how's it been going, Blood Axe?
I mean, he's still talking. Like you see, he's like, I'm out of stuff to talk about, but I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna have this conversation of nothingness.
Have you seen it
just over here, so I don't have to shut up. I'm just gonna keep going and going and going, and I'm never gonna let anybody else talk. I want to talk to.
Have you seen that Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Editions, Blood Axe? I almost bought it, man, but I don't think you're on a PC. I think you're on Xbox One, right? What? Go ahead, man. Talk. I just wanted to send that out to him.
Yeah. Oh, the new one? The second?
The new Pacific. Let's read what he's saying so people know. All right. Blood Axe is talking about the new Pacific Rim Uprising. I heard it's good and bad.
I like the first Pacific Rim, so.
I heard that the action was good, but they had little kids in the new one. You know, and it's always annoying when they do now there's kids running around in mechs. Yay, something for the kids.
They just wanted to get that much closer to anime. I mean, they're already doing the giant mech thing. Now they got to have kids piloting them because anime, man. Anime.
Oh, yeah, see, Blood Axe said it's a kid's movie. I heard that. And that's a shame because the first movie was kind of messed up. like it was violent. It was kind of it was like if you wanted your mecha to meet like Thunderdome Blood Battle, you know. I wish the second movie just got worse. Just go Mortal Kombat with it. You know what I'm saying? Just start giving fatalities to the freaking mech. Finish him. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. But all right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's... We've talked long enough, I think. We've rambled on. Yeah, no.
You have nothing, that's why.
I've had several things to say, but you wouldn't shut up long enough for me to get them in. And then by the time...
No, go ahead, Dan. Take a moment.
Well, no, by the time you got around to shutting up, it was already way past.
No, Blood Axe. Well, no, Zeno, we want to hear you. Since you say you have plenty to talk about, please, go ahead.
Oh, no. I'm not going to do that now because now we're having to go all the way back, rewind, blah, blah, blah.
Retro?
Yeah.